Guys, you guys were curious about developing like a berserker build. Just run these skills with these, and then I recommend, things like cryo shield flame or anything that'll give you a shield, HP bonus, anything like that. And then this is what I set it up for. You basically just work on getting yourself counter damage and defense, HP, and attack. And then deity appers, I think, is the way to go. You want to get regen, so you want to increase the counter strike as high as you can. I don't think it necessarily matters whether or not you have crit rate or combo, but you can experiment with like a high crit rate, high counter, or vice versa. But if you ask me, it's actually really all in the regeneration. Having a high counter strike and a high regen is really, really good. And then, well, pretty much once you've got all that, then these are the relics. And then for the talents, I just recommend going through the Fury Tree, basically, getting all three of them. And then you just want to buff up against skill and combo, because that's usually what you'll run into. And then increase healing. And so you'll go over into the TMP streak and pick up healing as well, for the same reason. And then the rest is pretty much just nuts and bolts. That's what you have to do in order to make it work. And then if you go against other players, a lot of the time you're just gonna have a lot of, like, the trick to this kind of build is it's a numbers game. So you're kind of trying to out heal and counteract the player as they're hitting you and do more damage. So like there, I was able to knock him out. But it's the same idea. A lot of the time, regardless of what kind of player you run into, you're going to have, like here on Counter-Strike on Counter-Strike, you're not going to do so well. You have to adjust for your combo resistance and your skill resistance. You'd have to, modify it for, if you're wanting to go against other warriors. It doesn't work as well on other warriors, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, most of that's all done with resistance, and that's really about all there is to it. I mean, but if you go against like other combo players, for example, where they thrive on doing a lot of damage, having a very high counter strike, you'll see that even though I have that, that's still not going to really do a whole lot, especially if they're really high level from you. And so when you're doing the individual missions, you're going to find that berserkers are really going to struggle in terms of what you would expect. I mean, obviously, if now if let's say I swap from this particular build, mind you, that I've got almost all of it in the HP and defense and crit bonus, and then I guess I should probably also show you that prayer statue is just HP. Now you could, if you wanted to, go like something like this, where you go all counter, and then that way your counter multiplier is at 32k, and you can do that, but the problem a lot of the time is you just don't have enough health. But in any case, that's really pretty much what you do with a berserker build. But if you ask me, now I usually run a plume monarch, so for me to like completely convert, it's pretty hard. But you will ultimately want to swap for crit rate or regen, and most of the successful ones that I've seen are just really high in regen. So like, for example, here's kind of like a busted version of it. It's not perfect by any means, but it'll get you the idea. It's 6% regen. And if I just hop in and, we'll just pick someone at 98k, for example. Okay, with a really high regen, you're not going to be able to, like, take a lot of punches, so to speak, but you'll be able to live long enough. I mean, let's see if we can, like, pull someone that's weaker, and I can kind of show you what I mean. Like, even here, the idea is to really kind of run on a lot of shields, on a lot of HP. That's, I mean, kind of the run nuts and bolts of how it works. Because you're basically just, it's a game of time. That's really kind of where a berserker thrives. But if you want to actually make it work for PvE, then what you really have to do to really make those kind of adjustments is you'll have to take a lot of your resistance and healing out And you'll actually want to go over and probably dump more of that into, well, mostly counter crit damage, and then you'll probably go into the arch tree, and, or really more the sword tree than anything, and grab active skill regen. So that way you're able to do more damage. And then for pets, you would probably, instead of slowing them down, like, you'll just go in here and basically you'll just go and adjust it, like for a shield or something along those lines. Give yourself as many opportunities to heal, basically, as you can possible. Anyway, that's my advice.